we didn't finish our discussion of the impact on you personally. So you said that you were continually shocked. So it was, I imagine, somewhat demanding psychologically to do the research that was necessary to write the book. But then there's also the consequence of publishing it and the notoriety or unpopularity that might have produced.
Right. So I suppose, I suppose I would fall into disagreeable as my personality, category that I learned from you, in the sense that, I'm not someone who, lies really bother me. They just bother me on a moral, intuitional level. So I really sort of wrote this not looking to make friends, but just because, gosh, the truth seemed obvious and it was fairly horrifying. And it didn't affect me personally or my family personally. So if it had, I think I would have had trouble writing it. I don't think I would have been able to. Women and fathers, mothers and fathers who've watched their daughters go through this are absolutely devastated. And it's not something I would have been able to do if this had been a personal issue. But I wrote the book. I thought it was a very fair treatment.
Makes you wonder too, when you're doing analysis of the outcomes of surgery, if you take into account the effects of that on the immediate family members, if that's a valid scientific question. You know what I mean? That, like, you could say, look, the only person who's ever affected by a surgery is the person upon whom the surgery is performed. And perhaps that's the case, and perhaps that's a reasonable perspective, but we are embedded in familial structures. And if a surgical procedure makes person A temporarily happy, or even maybe happy over the long run, but devastates 5 other people, it seems to me that it's at least worth asking the question of whether that should be taken into account, especially when you're talking about teenagers.
Right. I don't think it's that it devastates the parents because they can't stand the thought of having a transgender son or daughter. In fact, they were overwhelmingly politically progressive and supported, and they were they considered themselves allies long before gay rights was possible. Gay marriage was possible in America, or legal in America. So it wasn't that. It's they were so miserable and so devastated because they thought their daughters were so miserable and likely to, and regretting this already, or likely to regret it because they saw the lives their daughters were leading. So I think while I was writing the book, I just thought, this is so obviously true. Everything in the book is true. Nobody has pointed to a single factual error, and the book has been under a tremendous amount of fire now for 6 months. So,
how have you withstood that?
So I think that the hardest thing about the fire, in a certain sense, is all the, to be honest, is all the polite people out there who won't even, who are willing to say, oh, you're effectively you wrote that provocative book. Mm-hmm. As if they almost don't seem not to know that it's a journalist's job to go out and investigate phenomena, especially cultural ones that seem to be real. I didn't go looking for trouble. Trouble is all around us in America today. I mean, I mentioned states are lowering the age of medical consent across the country so that kids can get all kinds of surgeries. I mean, in Oregon, the age of medical consent is 15. So a 15-year-old in Oregon can get her breasts removed without her parents' permission. Now, you don't need to be a religious person to find that disturbing or alarming. You don't need to be conservative for sure, but just a thinking person who says, gosh, that seems really young. I know I had a lot of crazy ideas at 15. I'm glad no one would have given me that option.
Who do you want to read your book?
Oh, and the book's for anyone to read, but I suppose parents have been very helped by it. They felt it was very useful. Clinicians have told me it's very useful in just helping them sort of develop a sense that they're not completely insane when they think this is a whole lot of kids suddenly deciding they're transgender out of the blue. This can't be right. There's no oversight. Feeling that they're not alone. But I'm happy for people who are affirmative therapists to read the book. I mean, I'm happy for anyone to read the book. I unlike those who have called for my book to be banned and burned. I'm not in favor of those things. I would be happy for anyone to read it, and of course, I would never want another book banned or burned.
And so you remain pleased with your decision to write it.
The truth is, I'm not sure I could have done anything else. I mean, once I was aware of what was going on, I wrote an article about it for the Wall Street Journal, and it got a huge amount of traction. I mean, people were writing to me across the country, even across the West, to say, yes, this is going on in their daughter's school. Yes, let me tell you my story. I mean, I'm sure there are people who could have walked away from that, but I'm not one of them. I thought, gosh, there's something worth investigating here. And how could I just walk away from that and not look into it?
Well, I think that's probably a reasonable place for us to end. What do you think? Do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
Oh, no, I just thank you very much for having me on. And I'm a big admirer of yours, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about it.
Well, I'm pleased that you were willing to discuss your book, and I'm hoping that many people will read it and think about it. There's lots to think about. The transgender surgery being part of that, but by no means necessarily the largest part. So, thank you very much.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
I'll just say one last thing. Look, the lies have to stop somewhere. I could have walked away from this. I'm not saying it's been fun, and I'm not saying it's been easy since the book came out. There have been plenty of times when I thought, I really don't know if I chose the right path here. But yeah. I have to tell you something. The lies have to stop somewhere, don't they? I mean, right now we're living through a blizzard of them. And at some point, someone has to say, a few of us who are just, willing to need to say enough. We have to subject this to the same medical scrutiny and the same skepticism that we would subject anything else to, any other medical phenomenon.
Yes, well, terrible as objecting to the lies might be, I suspect that it's not as terrible as the consequences of letting them flourish unchallenged.
I think that's right. I mean, a lot of young women are getting badly hurt. And at some point, somebody has to be willing to say something.
Yeah, well, I hope that your book helps. That would be
Thank you.
That would be what anyone who is thinking clearly would hope.